Hi, this is Regeline Sabat, also known as Gigi. You're listening to Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Saf Buxy. Saf Buxy is a CEO, media host, author, speaker, human behavioral consultant, and addiction specialist. Saf is an award-winning radio presenter and Sky TV host of Men's Talk and Road to Redemption. Welcome to the show, Saf.
Hoo-ha! Ferocious! How you doing, Gigi? I'm just sharing away. How are you, my lovely?
I love it. Share away. And I'm so honored to have you on the show today.
Oh, I'm so blessed to be here. You know what? I've had one of those days, and I've been looking forward to this moment with myself and Gigi live from the UK and the USA, collaborating and building that bridge across the pond. It's all about that, isn't it? It's all about the equilibrium, man. I feel blessed. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. It's an honor to have you here today. Now, why don't you start off by telling us about you and where you are from?
Where are we from, man? You know what? I get that question asked all the time, and I always say I don't know. I don't know where I'm from, and you know why I don't know where I'm from? It's because I was adopted at birth, and I haven't got a clue where I was from. All I know that I was. You weren't asking literally, were you? You're asking where I'm from now, right? Is that?
Oh my
Oh,
God, you're hilarious. Now,
this
Justin,
guy's vibe is 100%. Cheers, Justin, baby. What's up, man? What's up, Justin? Peace. Um, no, basically, I'm from the UK. I'm from United Kingdom. I'm from England. I was born in the north of England. As I was saying earlier, I was 2.5 months premature, and I was adopted at birth, which I believe played a big part in my life. I mean, I only found out when I was 18, but it was a massive shock for me when I found out that the first 18 years of my life, I felt like I was living a lie. I was in a lie. No disrespect to my adopted parents. I love them. I loved them when they were alive, and I always will love them. But I just felt a bit cheated, really. And like everyone knew around the world, except me, that I was adopted. And the stories I've heard since then, and I'm in the process actually of trying to find my adoptive mother in particular. But yeah, so where my roots are from, I don't really know. I mean, I can take a guess, but I don't know where my roots are. I don't have any medical conditions or anything. Um, but you know what? I'm blessed, uh, and I'm happy, and my life has been a bit of a roller coaster. It really has. But this is what I'm here. I'm here to share my story, and that's what I do now is share my story because all the adversities that I feel that I've been through, it's serving me today, and this is how it's serving me by having a platform like yours. And this opportunity is great. One, to share my story. Two, to be a voice for the voiceless, and three, to share this commonality that we have, that you and I have, is this love, this the commonality of love, the commonality of connection, the love for spirituality, and the love for change. And I feel really grateful to be here. Thank you.
amen. Again, honored to have you here today. Now, Justin Crane says, cheers, my brother. Much love to good peeps, no matter what part of the earth you're on. Love it.
Peace. Love it. This is my sign for 33 years. Yeah, I was in active addiction for 33 years. So that's what that means. But anyway,
That is incredible. Now, Steph, tell us more about what inspired you to become a human behavioral consultant and an addiction specialist.
you know what? When I was growing up, this was far from what I wanted to be. I mean, I didn't even know about addiction specialist or human behavioral consultant, and the work I do today, it wasn't even in my mind ever. I think the universe and the way life panned out got me to this place today. And I guess it all started from 11 years old. I was shipped away to boarding school, a very acclaimed boarding school, mind you. From the age of 11 to 17, I was there, but unfortunately, those 6 years, I was abused on a daily basis, racially, every day, physically, emotionally, the humiliation that went with all of that, and sometimes sexually. And it was I don't know how I got through it, Gigi. I really don't know how I got through it, but well, I do. I found alcohol. Alcohol for me, where some people would say it was a coping strategy, a coping mechanism, for me, it was a fantastic strategy. I call it a brilliant strategy. And I don't mean it's a good thing to do. I mean that it was good at that time that got me through what I was going through on a daily basis. I mean, I could tell you stories that would possibly shock many people, but there's people out there who've got their own truth. There's people out there who've got their own trauma. You got this big trauma and little trauma. It's not about that. It's what's personal to you. And that was very personal to me. And I really believe that that trauma in particular, and also the trauma of being adopted, which I think is a trauma, and abandonment. I look at things on a cellular level now, and I know you had Tanya before who does as well, and she's taught me a bit of that. It's a combination of all these things. I think I was in a position where I was searching. I was searching for something to get me through that lifestyle, to get me through those tender years, those teenage years, those years of importance, the years of puberty, the years of growing into a man. And being humiliated on a daily basis was hard. It was very hard, and I really don't know how I got through it. But yeah, the alcohol was really helped me through it. It saved the day. It saved the day, and then and it looks like, well, it does. I took it through to adult life, and the alcohol became drugs. The drugs and alcohol were a brilliant combination for me. And when I mean drugs, I mean cocaine and crystal meth. Crystal meth grabbed me like any other, just grabbed me, man. It just took my dignity, it took my soul, it took my integrity, it took my morality. I mean, all drugs, the cocaine and the alcohol, I did things out of character, but crystal meth really did take it to another level. And with that, I was gambling a lot, and I was leading the whole toxic lifestyle. Uh, I believed I was suffering from what I call IGS, which is imaginary gangster syndrome. I was driving in the top cars, GG. You get me? I was driving in the top cars in the Bentleys. I was hiring the Bentleys, the cocaine on my side, going to the top clubs, mixing with 50 Cent, wearing the fiery coat, and it was all a facade, man. It was I don't know. It was like the abused became the abuser, even though I never abused the way I got abused. I used it in this way. I used it in a way of this is how I got control for the first time in my life. I was moving with some gangsters, and I thought I was one of them. I was helping people in need, like the modern day Robin Hood kind of thing, getting involved in unsavory things and criminal activities because it made me feel good. It made me feel strong for the first time in my life. It made me have a bit of control because I was suppressed for those crucial years of my life. I was abused, and I've only seen all this in reflection. At the time, I didn't know it was going on, and the drugs were getting into me, and I was hurting my family, my children, my wife. I was messing everyone around me. Anyone who came in my place, I was going to have you, man. I was going to do you. I was going to rob you. I was going to take away your dignity. I was going to humiliate you because that's the way life was. But I was also going to help you as well. If you needed help, I would do everything in my power to help you. And unfortunately, sometimes that involved violence, that involved support, financial support, and that money came from very unsavory things. But that's what it does. That's where it took me. That's where the drugs and the alcohol and that whole lifestyle took me. It took me to a life where, when I think back, it's I was unrecognizable. I was unrecognizable, and I had my stomach pumped twice from alcohol poisoning. I overdosed 3 times. I was even flatlined once. The line was just flat, and I just came out of it. Um, yeah, it was tough, but it's. I was entrapped. I was ensnared in this lifestyle, and I really do put it all down to what I experienced from the age of 11.
Saf, would you say that, again, you did mention that it is because of what happened to you when you were younger, but did you try to numb the pain through drugs and alcohol?
All day long, yeah, all day long. And as I said, I call it a brilliant strategy. That was the strategy I used. I don't call it a coping mechanism. I call it the strategy. Anyone who does something like that and does it excessively, yes, if they're coping or what they're getting through it, but I call it a strategy. That was my strategy at that time. Because without that, and I'm not saying it was good, but without that, I would probably be dead. But because I did it excessively for 33 years, I should be dead from doing that as well. Now my strategy is different. Now my coping mechanism, my strategy, my spirituality, my love for humanity, the service that I do. I mean, Mahatma Gandhi's quote, man, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And that's what I do. That's what I do. Do you know what I mean? That is exactly what I do. And I could give you a two-part, I could give you a two-part quote if you want.
Go ahead. Go
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
ahead.
Tupac said, you got to make a change. It's time for us as people to start making changes. Let's change the way we eat. Let's change the way we live. Let's change the way we treat each other. You see, the old way wasn't working. So it's on us to do what we got to do to survive. That's Tupac Shakur, man. And that guy was one of the best lyricists ever lived. And he, you know what? He stood for things that I stand for today. My way of doing it is different. I'm not the greatest rapper, and I ain't gonna try and rap, and I ain't a gangster rapper, which is what they used to call rappers in the 80s and the 90s. But
You sure you don't want to give us a little rap right now?
like I am learning to sing, Gigi. I am learning to sing. I haven't started yet, but I am learning. I have done a rap before, but it wasn't very good. So I'm not going to start it. But you know what? It's people like Gandhi and Martin Luther and Nelson Mandela and even Tupac Shakur from a different kind of perspective. These people believed in something. Bob Marley. I mean, I have so much admiration for all these guys, man. It's just wonderful to look at people like that. But obviously, I couldn't study them, and the people I study today are the likes of Dr. John D. Martini, who's a human behavioral consultant. He's mentored me. He's taught me a lot of things in human behavior, which I think is what the question you asked. But so I do a lot of human behavioral work. TJ Woodward, who I'm starting a show with him next week called Universal Recovery, and he is a legend in addiction, and he's got his own story as well, and he's a best-selling author, and he's just an amazing guy. These people, Dr. Gabor Mate from Canada, again a leader in addiction, Professor Bruce Alexander. These are the people I've studied, and this has all happened when I came into recovery. I came into rehab. In fact, my daughter phoned the rehab place, and I went there. Gigi, check this out. I went there with no intention of stopping my lifestyle, but I went there and I saw my key work, and I'm in the room with her, right? And I just broke down. I just broke down. The day before, I was in a police cell in Berlin, in Germany, for drunken disorderly and crazy stuff. And the day after, I'm back in London, and then 2 days later, I'm in this rehab place, and I just broke down. It's like everything just got me. I was done. I was done. People say you come into recovery or you come in when you've hit rock bottom. That wasn't my story, because if that had been my story, I would have come in many years before. I was just done. I was exhausted mentally, physically. I bankrupted my family emotionally, financially, in every way. And that moment in that room with my first key worker, her name is Paula, big up Paula, I was done. And that was the last time I took a drink or drug or did any gambling or any kind of toxicity. From that day, my life changed forever. Call it a spiritual awakening in that room, call it whatever you want. I call it the beginning of my life, and I celebrate it. 11th of August. I celebrate the 11th of August every year, and I celebrate more than my birthday, which is September the 6th, a month later. 11th of August is the day that I was born. It's the day that I've learned to serve other people. It's the day that I've learned to help as many people as I can, whether they're suffering from trauma, adoption, addiction, anything, anxiety, stress, depression. I'm also diagnosed as bipolar. I've got experience in so many things personally, and now I have it in a professional and a vocational and an academic level. I've done a master's degree in addiction psychology. I've studied human behavior. I read on a daily basis. I'm doing conscious recovery courses with TJ Woodward. I'm just trying to better myself and educate myself, because I have the personal experience. I have the professional experience. I even got to work in a lifeless prison in the UK, where I was helping addicts or convicts or offenders who are in prison because of drug-related crimes or because of drug addiction. And I worked as a drug and alcohol practitioner, and that was an amazing experience to help people, not to ridicule them, not to look down on them, but try and help them through the addiction. Because addiction is not the crime. Addiction makes you do the crime, just like it made me do certain things that I would not do today. So my life just changed. And what I do today is your question at the very beginning. How did I get to where I get to? I had no intention of getting to this place. No intention. All I wanted to do through those years of when someone is trying to decide what they want to do when they grow up, I was just trying to survive. I was just trying to survive the life that the woes life had thrown at me. I mean, the abuse. I was just trying to survive. All this took place because of fear. Drugs, alcohol, all saved my life, but they also nearly killed me. And today, it's not like that. Today, I have clients who I treat. I work with them with social behavior and human behavior, where I do a lot of work with highest priority values, and we look at the universal laws, mainly the law of duality and heuristic escalation. I'm a strong believer of Maxwell's equations. I'm a strong believer that there's no positive without a negative. There's no predator without a prey. There's no prey without a predator. Where there's a negative, there's always a benefit. Where there's a positive, there's always a drawback. Look at both sides. As humans, we try and live. A lot of people live in a one-sided world, a one-sided perception. It's important to look at the both sides. Only then you can have a life of fulfillment. If you live a one-sided life, you'll be living a nightmare. You have to look at both sides. Only then you can have a truly inspiring and fulfilling life. And that's what I teach. And that's what I talk about on a regular basis. Also the values, but I also talk about connection. I talk about connection quite a lot. That's what my work involves. So whether it's not just addiction, but with anyone who wants to be empowered, who wants to be inspired, empowered leaders, and want to govern their stuff, come to me, man. I will help you because I'm someone who's been there and I'm someone who's come out. I've come out the other side. I've got my own TV show now, Gigi. Who would have thought that?
Congratulations.
Who would have thought that, man? I'm on Sky TV, the biggest broadcasting TV platform in Europe. Yeah, it's like I don't know what the US version is. Whatever your biggest TV, that's what it is. Okay. And I've got I'm on a channel called Feel Good Factor TV every Saturday morning and Sunday morning. My show's called Men's Talk. It's just three guys. I'm the lead host, and we just chat about everyday things, and it's become a massive hit. Another show, I'm on a Muslim Islamic channel. I was brought up by an Islamic family. I mean, I'm very spiritual and I believe in the source and the power greater than myself. And I believe in God and I choose to call this power God. But I have a lot of knowledge in the Islamic faith because that's what I know. But I believe in a lot of faiths and I go to, I go to church, I go to mosques, I go to temples, not just for the free food. I go there because it's a place of solace. I go there because I get some peace and calm and serenity, and I go there and I just close my eyes, man. I close my eyes and I thank God because gratitude is a big part of my recovery. I'm grateful every day. I'm grateful that I'm able to do what I do today. Really grateful, man. I'm grateful to have a platform like this and for you to invite me so I can share my story. I can share and try and give a message of hope. Because that's what it's about. That's what it's about, is to give a message of hope. And it's not just about in the UK or in the US, it's globally. And I'm looking to do work all over the world because I believe that this is my calling.
Amen. You're truly a warrior, Saf. Now tell us more about Men's Talk and Road to Redemption.
Yeah, well, Men's Talking, as I say, is three guys just chatting about different topics every week. Last week I talked about gender norms. It was amazing, amazing. Because I'm a bit of a feminist. You get me? Big up the women. You know why? Because apart from my son, the two most important people in my life is my wife and my daughter. My wife and my daughter. They saved me from that addiction. They saved me from the depths of hell. Okay, and they supported me all the way. Where any other wife would have left me, she stayed with me because she saw that there was a bit of good inside all that evil that was going on around me. So I owe my life. to my family. I owe my life to God for thankfully giving me this opportunity to use everything that I've been through, to use it as service and see how it served me and try and serve others with it. So Men's Talk is all different topics, from gender norms, from from nutrition, from exercise, from technology. It's such a great show because there isn't many shows out there just with men. There's a lot of women shows, so it's a great concept. But on that channel, there's Girls Talk, there's Cat Sanctuary, Joe Vitale, who you've been on a platform with. He's on the same channel as well. On Jive Aces, which is a famous jazz band that won Britain's Got Talent, and so there's a lot of things going on. And Road to Redemption is an Islamic channel where I've got my own show, which is going to be starting again next year, where I talk to the youth of Islam, in particular, but anyone can watch it because there's a lot of denial and a lot of delusion in some faiths. I guess in most faiths, when it comes to addiction, when it comes to trauma, when it comes to mental health, a lot of denial, and there's a big taboo as well. So I'm that show is about breaking that. That show is about educating the second generation, the elders, educating the priests and the people who are in a position of faith, to try and educate them that it can get anyone. It does not discriminate. Addiction and mental health does not discriminate. But also, I think that the reason why I have a purpose on this is because when I talk to the youth, because I've been there as a youth and I've been there as an adult, I have a way of connecting with them, and they have a way of connecting with me. So I think that it's easier for them to actually reach out to me. So because I've been there, I've done it. I know where they're coming from. I know what they're doing. I know about the criminal activities. I know about the county lines. I know about what they're doing. I know the signs, and I'm educating them. I'm educating their parents, and I'm educating the priests. I'm educating the worthy. I'm educating everyone, and that's why I do that show. And they approach me, and I'm really happy and blessed to do that. And I try and do it respectfully because I don't want to go against any religion. That's not what I'm about. I'm about addition, something in addition, not against, not against anything. I'm a modality in addition to all modalities, to all universal stuff, to all religions. I'm something in addition. Use it if it helps, great. If you don't use them all together. Whatever works, works. So they're the two shows that I'm doing at the moment. This Universal Recovery show, which is a Facebook show at the moment. I'm hoping to take that to Roku and Apple TV next year. Also do a Thursday night show, which I've just done, called Inspirational People, Inspirational Stories, and I'm definitely going to have you on my show, Gigi. And that's basically interviewing people who are inspirational, because their story needs to get out. It's all about giving a message of hope, and that's what I do. That's what I do, and I'm just feel grateful, man. Grateful.
Incredible. Now tell us more about your book that you're releasing in 2021.
2021, yeah, I'll tell you the name of it. It's called Out of the Madness, because I am out of the madness. I always call it the madness, because it was mad. My life was just crazy. It was the drugs, the alcohol, the whole everything that I was involved with for literally. And I can't talk about the first 6 years because I was a kid, but after that, it was mad. It was madness. And the book is called Out of the Madness. And there's a lot of stuff in that book. The whole idea of the book is to give a message of hope. That's all it is. It's. I don't want to say too much, because I've got to get the lawyers to look at it to see what I can leave and what I can't leave, because there are possibly incriminating and controversial things in that book, and I don't want to get into trouble. But the whole idea of the book is to give a message of hope to people who have experienced any kind of adversity, any struggles, any challenges, that you can get out of this. You can get out of this, no matter what you've been through. You can get out of this, and this is just a story to show you that it is possible. There is a way out. So that's what the book's about. It's going to be a great read. It really is. When I read back at what I've done so far, I've got one more chapter to do. That'll be done, published in January, launch in April. I'm launching it in Dubai. Not that I'm asking anyone to come to Dubai, but my first launch will be in Dubai, where I've been invited as a guest. to speak at an authors and speakers conference on the 11th of April. If you're there, come and holler out. It's a free event. But I'll do the launch on the same time as well. So I'm launching it in the UAE, and then it'll be in London, and it'll be global. So yeah, it's a book to give a message of hope and to give you some light at the end of the tunnel.
Wonderful. Now, you were diagnosed as bipolar. Can you explain to the audience the importance of not allowing their bipolar diagnosis to keep them down or to stop them from achieving their goals or their dreams?
Yeah, it's I was diagnosed quite late. I was diagnosed 6 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, and I'm not a doctor, so a physician. Um, so please take what I'm going to say with a pinch of salt. But what I mean, I'm still on medication now. Okay, I'm on antidepressants and I'm on antipsychotics, and the only reason why I'm on it now is because every time I try and get off, the side effects are so strong I can't deal with it. I honestly feel that if I knew what I know now then, I may not be on the medication in the first place. But I'm on it, and it's kept me stable, um, and it's helped me to operate and deal with life. But I'm a strong believer: more skills, no pills, no more pills, lots of skills. And what I mean by that is, yes, again, it's not about disregarding anything. It's about addition. If you can do other things as well to help you in your mental health, help you with your addiction, help you with your trauma, please, please, please look at everything. There's so many things out there. We live in a wonderful world where there is help out there, and with the behavioral stuff that I know, with the acceptance, with the how things serve me, and with the different kinds of modalities that I teach and I have learned, I truly believe that if I'd known it then, I may have considered not taking the medication. But it's brought me to a level, it brought my mind into a balance, and it helped me. It helped me. It helped me. It helped me a lot. And if I could come off it, I will come off it, and I will try and gradually come off it. At the moment, when I've tried to cut down, the side effects have been so strong, and I guess that's the law of duality right there. That's the polarity right there. You know, the positive of it is that it kept me straight and it kept me equal. Yeah, but the drawback is it's when you come off it, it messes me up. It's like I'm back on the thing. It's like I'm back on drugs again. So there's always two sides. Let's look at them, let's embrace them and bring them together. But yes, bipolar should any kind of mental health, you can still do what you could do, still do what you want to do. Nothing should stop you. Nothing. If you really want to do it, yeah, and you can feel it in your mind, you can feel it in your heart, and you feel it in your core. It's all about the core. You got to feel it in the core. You feel it in the core. Nothing can stop you. I promise you. I am living proof. I am living proof that you can get out of anything, anything. So if anyone wants to holler at me or you want to give me a call or whatever, check me out. Saf Buxy. Just type my name in. You'll find me on Google and just reach out, man. I'll be happy to talk. I'll be happy to talk to anyone. If I can help anyone, I will help as many people as I can. So the message to that is don't let mental health issues, addiction issues, people who experience trauma or abuse, don't let that stop you moving forward.
Amen. Very powerful, Saf. Now, what is your why that keeps you going?
Wow. Why? Why? You know, that is such a wonderful question because I'm always about when, not why. Do you know what I mean? It's I don't know why. What I do know is that it keeps me it keeps me clean and sober, for one. And I think the biggest thing is because of what I've been through throughout my years, and this is personal to me. It may be big to some people, may not. It's not about that. What my experiences is, I am not letting these traumatic experiences, the negative experiences, the experiences of humiliation, the experiences of abuse define me. I'm using it to serve me, to serve others. And that is the reason why I do what I do. That is the reason why I'm in this game, this field of helping, this field of projecting and giving this message of hope, whether it's on platforms like this, whether it's on TV, whether it's on the stage, whether it's through my book, whether it's through podcasts, whether it's through my personal consultation. All six of these things have got one thing in common, is by giving a message of hope because of what I've been through, because of what I've been learning since in recovery, because of the people I've studied, the people I've trained under, the readings I read, the knowledge I try and get on a daily basis, the further studying I'm doing. I'm putting professional experience, academic experience, and I'm combining it with my personal experience, and I'm putting it all in one package called the Buxy modality. Yeah, but the empowerment series, the Buxy modality empowerment series. I've got a workshop coming out which is going to be phenomenal. Yeah, it's going to be so great that I'm hoping that it'll be of value to as many people as possible, because that's all I want it to be. That's what. So that, I think that the answer to your question is why. That's why. That's why, because this is all I know. I'm not going back to that life, Gigi. I'm not going back to that life of toxicity. My life is not about that anymore. This is my life. My life is to give a message of hope to as many people as possible through different sources, because of the help of the source, the power greater than ourselves, that I choose to call God.
Amen. And you are. You're doing a great job, Seth. Now, what is your best advice to the audience for walking with purpose and living a life of happiness?
Look at both sides. Look at both sides of absolutely everything. Do not live in a one-sided world. Look at the both sides of everything. Because if you leave in that, if you bought in that fantasy of leading a one-sided world, having a one-sided perception, you'll be living a nightmare. Look at both sides of everything. As I said earlier, there's no prey without a predator. There's no predator without a prey. There's no good without bad. There's no bad without good. Yeah, there's no heaven without hell. There's no hell without heaven. There's no positive without negative. There's no negative without positive. You've got to look at both sides. Too many people get fixated with just a one side. When there's something good's going in your life, you've got a new job, you're on a high, everything's great. You want to stay there, and you don't want to look at the negative. I'm someone, you have to look at the possible drawbacks. Otherwise, you'll be living in a nightmare, and vice versa. People who have gone through so much negativity or going through negativity, you'll stay in that rut. You'll stay in that space until you start looking at the benefits of that. Now, when I say benefits of a negative, I don't mean it's good. Sometimes it's very, very wrong. Like, for example, the abuse that I went through, which is very negative, it wasn't right, it was very wrong. But I'm looking at the benefits of that. So you may ask, how can you look at the benefits of someone who's been sexually, racially, physically abused on a daily basis? Well, there are. And the biggest benefit is how it's serving me today. How it's serving me today is to serve others. Because if I didn't go through all that, and again, I'm not saying it was right, it was very wrong, but if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. That's how it served me. And how it served other people at that time, let's look at that as well. Let's look at that as well. When I robbed my wife for all the jewelry she had, yeah, because I wanted to get my crystal meth, and I wanted to continue my journey of toxicity. I wanted to that whole lifestyle. When I robbed my wife of all her jewelry, yeah, I was holding on to that guilt and shame for years. Once I dissolved that guilt and shame, Gigi, I got self-worth. And the experience was so profound. It was wonderful. And how I dissolved it, I saw how it served her. Now, how can that serve her? Well, I'll tell you how it served her. She went and spoke to her father and built a relationship that she may never have had. It doesn't make it right what I did. No, but we've got to see the other side. We've got to see the benefits of that negative. It made her closer with my children. All that life, it served her in that way. And I'm not saying that someone has to do that to serve people that way, but you got to look at how it served them. You got to look at how it served me. It served me today by having this wonderful life of serenity, this journey that I'm on at the moment, the lovely people I'm meeting. Tanya, big up Tanya. I'm doing exciting things with Tanya. I'm doing exciting things with this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful soul from the USA, man. She's just incredible. She's just come into my life just like that. Just like that. and since she's come into my life, we're doing things in the world. We started a charity. Can I talk about that, Gigi?
Yes, yes, that brings us to the next question. Please tell us about the project you have with Tanya Simmons. And we love
Oh,
you as well, Tanya. Thank you for listening in.
Pow, pow, pow. Look at both sides of everything. No, with Tanya, Tanya's a very special woman. And we share the same love. We share the love of helping people, right? The love of being of service to as many people as possible. And Tanya started this project called Healing for the Nations, where she goes to developing countries and works alongside NGOs and other charitable organizations within that country. And she's already been successful in building a water well in Pakistan, in a place called Sindh, which provides clean water, for people who are less fortunate than us. And we were speaking about it, and now I'm fully involved. I'm a partner, man. Tanya got me for life now, so we're going to continue. We're going to continue doing these projects, Gigi. Right? We're going to in Pakistan. We're building this orphanage, bought this land. We're going to be working there. We're going to be working in countries like India and Africa, and we're going to try and help people who are less fortunate than us. We're going to try and educate the kids who don't get education. We're going to try and we're going to try our best to stop exploitation in all ways. Whether we're here to fight, man. We're here to fight against injustice. Whether we're talking about racism, LGBTQ plus rights, whether we're talking about indigenous rights, animal rights, whatever we're talking about, we're talking about the same thing. It's the fight against injustice. We're getting involved in acid attack survivors charities, because in Pakistan and India is a big problem with women getting attacked with acid in their faces. We want to help as many people as we can, as we possibly can, and we will work with any NGO anywhere globally if we can, and we will help them with support, with volunteers. We will raise funds to accommodate, and we will be doing all this out of love for humanity, out of love for people who are suffering on a daily basis. And that's all we want in return. We just want smiles. We want lives. We want to see empowered lives being empowered. We want to see children smiling. We want to see people who have gone through adversities, whether it be acid attacks, whether it be sexual abuse, whatever it may be. We want to try and help them and say that there is a life. There is a life, and we can help you try and have that life, and we can try and get you through that. So with mine and Tanya's experience, we want to bring it together. We brought it together. We've both got a journey. We've both got a story. We are in an alignment together, which is wonderful. We both believe in a power greater than ourselves. We both believe in universal laws. We believe in love. We believe in helping people. So I just feel blessed. And you know what's great? I'm not getting paid for that. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes,
As we were saying off air, it's so wonderful having so much love and so much happiness for something that there's no financial reward at the end of it. The reward is what I said: smiling children, better living for people who are living in really living bad conditions, clean water, education for children who don't get it, clean clothes. That is the reward.
amen. My heart goes out to you, Saf and Tanya, for all that you're all are doing in the community to change this world. You all are absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Now, Saf, thank you so much for being a guest on Walk With Me podcast. Where can the audience find you?
Well, they can find me in the UK. No, no, you can find me anywhere, man. But if you exactly www.safbuxy.com, that's the website. It says a little bit about what I do. It says about how you can get in touch with me. It tells you about what I have done as well. Obviously, I'm on Facebook, Saf Buxy public figure. Also, Saf Buxy, my Facebook page. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. You can email me at info@safbuxy.com. There's many ways. Please. I'm on YouTube as well. Look at my shows that I've spoken to some really inspirational people. And you're going to be on it soon, Gigi. Trust me, I'm going to get you. I'm going to find you. You're going to come on. Um, it's all about giving a message of hope. You can find me. Just type my name in Saf Buxy. and you will definitely find me, and I'll be happy to help you.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out Saf at safbuxy.com. That's SAFBUXY.com. And Saf, again, thank you so much for being a guest on Walk With Me podcast. You have a blessed day.
You too, Gigi. Thank you, my lovely.